Fostering for canine partners is extremely important, as a lot of times we have dogs that come in that are perfect for our program, and I don't have a veteran that is ready to take home a foster, or I haven't or take home their dog, and I haven't matched them. So the foster program is very important, and what our fosters do for us is they take that dog and they treat the dog, bring it into their home as one of their own. They teach manners. We just ask that they teach manners. The dog is in the house, they take the walks, we teach them how to walk the dog, that type of thing, but they give that dog that home environment. And in addition to that, the foster is able to maybe distinguish some quirks or maybe a behavior that needs to be worked on, as far as waiting at the door, sitting, no, leave it. We have dogs that come in that have had no obedience training whatsoever in most cases. Very rarely do you get a trained dog. So the foster program is a very unique program, and we are desperately always looking for good foster homes. Some fosters have cats, some fosters have other dogs, which also allows our dogs to be familiar with cats and dogs. The way we obtain our fosters is we have a tab on our website that has an application. That foster fills out that total application, all the background, everything that they have, and then what we do is we process that application, and then we do a home visit. And the home visit, our volunteers check to make sure that the dog is in a good environment and talks to that foster to make sure that that foster is really the type of foster that we need and want in our program. If they are approved, then what happens is the foster is given over to me in dog acquisitions, and then that foster works with me, and they come every week. They sit here every week, and if I have a foster for them, they go home with a foster. If not, they come back the next week. Once they have a foster, they bring that foster into us every week to see if I can match the dog.
So when the veterans apply, one of the things that I tell them is that there's no waiting list, and as long as they get their paperwork in, I'll get them really quick for an interview, get them in for an interview. And when they come in and they start their classes, the way it works is we do a process kind of called stacking. They come in, they learn something, they go home, they practice, and when they come back the next week, we review, and then we add something new. And that's what we do going on through the entire 19 weeks. Well, after like going through the program, I did 5 months in the program. I did to have Bella as a certified service dog. And then I went through an additional 23 weeks to be a certified trainer. And then they brought me on board to be the veteran liaison. And what I do as the veteran liaison, I'm pretty much the first voice and face that the veterans actually interact with before they get in the building. And my job is to make sure that they have all the paperwork and everything that they need before we sit down to have an interview. Now, when I do these interviews, I try to make it as comfortable for them as possible, because I know how it was when I first got here. So I kind of make it as they're just having a conversation with an old vet. And that's what we pretty much do. And because I know before they get into the threshold of the facility, I mean, they're anxious. And so I try to eliminate a lot of the anxiety even before we sit at the table. Mm-hmm. And I got hooked up with a doctor here, and he said, hey, listen, I believe that a service dog would be helpful to you. And he recommended Canine Partners with Patriots. So I came. It was difficult, after filling out all the paperwork and everything. I stood in the parking lot for about 20 minutes. I didn't want to go in because I had gotten so many no's going through VA and stuff like that. So I sat in the parking lot, with my wife, and she said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "No, I need more time." And finally, she kind of coaxed me out of the car, and I came in the building and I sat down and did the interview with Mary, Ron, and Jeannie, and. They reviewed everything, and they said, welcome to the family, you're good to go. And I just started to cry. I mean, because it was the first yes that I had gotten since 1991 when I got out of the Marine Corps. So after getting that yes and coming in and meeting, my fellow brothers and sisters and stuff like that, the camaraderie that I was missing while I was in the Corps, I found here.
Like any nonprofit, Canine Partners for Patriots is heavily dependent on the private donor. And while we get quite a bit from local individuals who simply have a great deal of interest and support for our veterans, we need much more revenue from the corporate sector, from the business community in Tampa Bay. That's absolutely essential for this program to be able to continue to serve the veterans, not just in Tampa Bay, but really from all across Florida. We have veterans from 22 counties in Florida coming to this program. And in Tampa Bay, we have the largest veteran population in the state. We've got over 320,000 veterans just in the Tampa Bay area. So it's absolutely essential, because if you look at the VA data, the statistics will tell you that it could be 10% or more of that veteran population that has PTSD. And we exist to keep keep our veterans on a positive path forward. We exist to prevent veteran suicide. And unfortunately, the sad data from the VA is that we're losing 20 veterans a day to suicide. And among veterans with PTSD, that estimate goes as high as 22 per day. We're doing everything we possibly can to keep that from happening. And if Tampa Bay corporations can find it within themselves to support that, I think they'd see it's well worth their while.